Hey, welcome to part two. Thanks for coming and finding the second part of the video. So I was talking about Meta, and yeah, great stock. You may hate or love Mark Zuckerberg or think nothing really about him. Is it Zuckerberg or Zuckerberg? I don't know. Anyway, it as an investor, still a great stock, but technically it's not looking that good at the moment. Yeah, the drawdown has started. Now, I'm just actually more worried about this massive, massive gap still down here that wasn't quite filled in April 2024. Interesting to me that this is still here. So this is down. The gap was created around early 24, and I'm just going to note this as a puzzle piece and put it on the table, as David Frost would say. Any of you ever watched David Frost or his technical videos? He was the first trading channel I watched back in, 2019. Rest in peace. Yeah, his son took over the channel. It's still a great channel. I would go watch that too. Very much around numerology and number theory. He points out how we always seem to hit magic numbers. Sixes and nines always come up. Yeah, great channel, David Frost. My strategic forecast. That's the name of that channel. Another one I love to watch is Camel Finance. What an absolute dude. Camel Finance, shout out, go find him. Find these people and tell them that Spectoral sent you and how much of a legend they are. Because, if you're looking for channels that I have it's probably from 2019 when I really started to seriously use YouTube for research purposes. I've churned through hundreds of channels, discarded the ones that were wrong and kept the ones that were, consistently making good sense, kept people who had contrarian narratives to me, but which made great sense as well. Gareth Soloway is one of them. It's good to have a small arsenal of channels and and each one brings something different to the table. So Camel Finance, he looks around everything holistically, similar way to I do, but in a different sort of way. He doesn't talk about cycle theory. Gareth Soloway, technician, only interested in trades. Great swing trader by heart. Colin Teddard's investing really, and a little bit of swing trading in there. Basic swing trading only, going by nothing but channels and trend lines. And then when it comes to Bitcoin and crypto, the Pizzino brothers are where I'm at. So Jason Pizzino for long-term cycle level theory. And he also covers the stock market a little bit and the property market cycle as well. So he likes talking about the property cycle, but not so much stock cycles, which is weird. Yeah, but then he's really, really good. He's generally really good at keeping you on base level about understanding where we are in a cycle. And then his brother, Michael Pizzino, more for swing trades and altcoins. So they're my shout outs for the day. There are a couple of more, but I'll keep it at that. Getting back to Meta, yeah, I worry a little bit that we are going to come down and test 400 and in doing so spike the 200-week EMA. We do seem to be due to do that. We tend to do that every couple of years. And the last time we did it was, in 2022. So, yeah, wouldn't be surprised if we come down that much, which would be absolutely disgusting. From the top, it would be a 50% drawdown. Can you see Meta doing that this year? It might not. It might not. It might have a saving grace and just only come down and do this. But depends how fast it falls, really. And see, that's the thing we're trying to answer. How long will this correction go on? And where could the possible bottoms be? So it definitely depends on how fast it falls. So far, the velocity has been pretty terribly fast. But you could see that if it continues to be brutalized, it could get down there as soon as like May, June. But it may not. So we're going to get to answer that in a minute. All these stocks are tending to follow this pattern, which you have maybe seen before in one of my previous videos. It's macro trends, their performance by president. This is only selecting the presidents that had their midterm election not aligned with a Shemitah year. And as you can see, the top tends to be in around about month 8, which we're kind of in. Some of them happen a little bit later, to be fair. What am I talking about? month 15. Okay, so month 15 or month, somewhere between month 14, 15, around about here. Let's call it, anywhere between the 12-month and the 15-month. So somewhere around here, right? So Donald Trump currently now is in month 13. That the top might have been in already. We might come down. We might retest some highs. Maybe. I doubt it. I don't know. It's just such a brutal start to a fall. But anyway, the general gist is that you can sort of see it becomes kind of flat to weak, and losses continue all the way until maybe month 17, and then we sort of flounder around the bottom. Not, some tend to do well, like the Trump's other first term did a fairly good recovery, put in a new top. Definitely Obama got his way after a while, but look, around month 17, I would say, is the kind of quality time where you're going to start to look for bottoms and start to buy up stocks. So what is month 17? That would be June this year. And then if you want to just kind of put a broad stroke on it, I would say so anywhere in the Q3, that's where we're expecting a bottom for the market. Up until then, it could go up, down, all around, but tending downwards. And the losses look like it could be, kind of 15, maybe even 20%. Brutal. This is the S&P. Yeah, you can see these vertical lines. I mean, here, if you count the swing, it was a 43% drop. But if you don't count the swing, in 2018, Meta, as our example, dropped 37% and tested the 200-week moving average, which it was overdue to test. In 2014, it was a little more muted, but it was still a 23, almost 24%, correction, which is incredible. Yeah. But to different levels of support each time. So you have to count it within the context of what's going on. How parabolic has the stock gone? How far off of home base is it? That kind of thing. So yeah, it does help to look back at history. To generalize it a little more, the NASDAQ itself in 2018 swung all the way up and continued to put in another 10% almost, but then it ultimately fell 17% from its January top, 17.5%, but 24.5% from its top of that year. So a very volatile year, and it didn't put in a bottom until December. So look, it's not like what am I trying to say? We've got to look at these things with broad strokes. I can't put an exact date on it, and I can't put an exact amount of loss on it, but all we know is that these are the swing trades they'll give you some sort of opportunity, so to not ignore them. As you can see, 2014 for the NASDAQ was very muted, only 8%. But still, that's 8% you could have made additionally to what it did that year. StockTradersAlmanac.com backs this up with a beautiful graph. I call these my cheat sheets, and you can see here again another very clear trend where they aggregate all the years of different presidential terms and midterms to show you that it does tend to go down and flat into Q3. Again, much confluence, very handy information to know. Today, I'd like to wrap the video by, I will get to Bitcoin in a sec, but hang on. Nancy Pelosi just purchased, so this doesn't happen all that often. She purchased on January the 16th. This company here, Alliance Bernstein AB. She's been pretty quiet. And what else did she do? She purchased more Tempus, VST, Nvidia, Google, and Amazon. Interesting. These for her are tiny trades, so don't put too much weight behind them. But this one here is large, okay? Note what she's doing. Timing-wise, I don't think Nancy Pelosi is immune from the presidential midterm drawdown, though, so you're going to get better opportunities than she did. But, watch what she's doing. Now, finishing with Bitcoin, it's coming down just like we said, although I think it's a little bit overextended, to be fair. To the downside, I think that we're up for another big bounce at some point, and it'll probably retest the mid to high 80s maybe, and try and put in a kiss of death here around 83 or 82. Or it might not. It might just bear flag here for ages. So, yeah, watch that. But yeah, we're well on our way to tag 40K by the Q3. So that's it, unfortunately.